Hello and welcome to another chess video. Going to play GrandmastaGus for our 6th game. I am playing black. If you have not been following our little match here, we've been playing this our 6th game, and white has won every single game. So I'm in the lead by 1 point, and I really want to change the outcome of the games because only white has been winning in every single round. So I normally play the French, but I told him that I would play the Sicilian to mix things up a little bit. Alright, so we're playing the Sicilian, and I was thinking about the dragon, even though I told him I won't play the dragon, but I think I'm just going to go with the Najdorf. Both are fine. I might even go for, what do they call it? Najdorf and dragon combined. The Dragdorf, yeah. So I might go for the Dragdorf variation, if I Fiend Shadow this. That's kind of a hybrid between the Najdorf and the dragon. So bishop there, and I might go for the knight g4 line. He might play bishop g5, and I don't know those lines very well. But let's, we'll have some fun. He could also just go back to bishop c1, and we kind of transpose. If bishop g5, then it gets into some pretty interesting stuff. So let's see if he knows his theory, because I certainly don't. Like I said, I'm not a Sicilian player. I do play against the Sicilian a lot as white, so all of my knowledge is from the other side of the board. Bishop g5 is the most testing line. Kasparov used to love to play this on both sides, but especially as black. So if bishop, okay, so he's going for it. I was really hoping he wouldn't. So this is the way the line goes, and black really expands on the king side. And let's just make sure I remember the ideas here. How does it go? So if I just develop my bishop to g7, if I just do this, I just have to make sure I'm not immediately blundering anything. Yeah, I mean, let's develop. So playing out of theory, for me at least, maybe he does know his stuff here. So black, is taking a lot of space, but these pawns can also become a weakness very quickly. So it's an aggressive posture by black, and you have to kind of justify it with tactics. So I'm pretty sure knight e5 is the way to go in these lines. Yeah, I'm not really afraid of f4 right now. He might just develop his bishop to e2. He could develop his queen to d2 and castle queenside. Lots of options for white. I'm not exactly sure what my plan is as black. So, maybe this is not the best way to play if I'm trying to really score here. But I do have a small time advantage, and I just need to get my pieces out. Like I said, my pawn structure is actually kind of more precarious, more dangerous than his. More dangerous for me, that is. So after an eventual f4, positionally black can be worse. But in the short term, I gain space, and my pieces are on good squares. So in the short term, this is, pretty effective. I'm glad he played this, actually. I haven't played this stuff since, I was a beginner, and I was just testing out lines. Okay. So I'm pretty sure f4 is not a move in these positions. Does it blunder anything automatically? Probably not. But why? I'm pretty sure that I have not seen f4 played by grandmasters. So let's think. I probably do have to take. Retreating would be kind of silly. And I mean, h6 is not that weak. I do have an open G file now. Knight G6 kind of is an idea. I'm looking at queen b6, so I'm looking at putting my queen on this diagonal, attacking the knight, attacking the pawn, and the threat is knight g6 to follow that up with. So queen b6 is an idea. Queen a5 is another idea. Queen over here. I could just develop my knight. In fact, that might be the way to go. Although, if I develop my knight, that gives him the option of trading knights, and I'm not sure if I want to do that. So what about queen b6? What's up with queen b6? Let's think. Could also play b5, pawn to b5. I mean, there's a lot of good moves here. I do like my position. My only positional qualm here is the pawn on h6, but for now it's not that bad. Or rather, it's not really a factor. So let's play knight c6. I do want to just develop and see where this takes us. Okay, so he just retreats his knight. I could play knight g6, asking the bishop where it wants to go. Queen to b6, queen to c7, bishop e6. I could also just play bishop d7. Yeah, I'm not sure if I want... One second. He goes back to e... If knight g6, he goes back to e3, and I don't think I've accomplished anything. So let's just keep developing. Okay, and he wants to castle queenside, it looks like. He's putting pressure on my pawn, but I might actually just leave my king in the center. I don't see a central breakthrough for black just yet. I am seeing if I play queen b6, there is a knight d5 on the horizon, just picking up a tempo. So maybe I can't play that right away. I could play b5 and just expand on the queen side. But let's develop my rook first. Okay, and he castles this way. So now I think b5 was my idea. And let's see how long I could live with my king in the center. So, it seems like I like to play with my king in the center against Gus. This happened in our last game. So pretty interesting position. I actually do like my position. The pawn structure is pretty compact, and I think f4 was kind of a mistake because now there's no pawns to rip open the center. He should have exchanged the h pawn for my g pawn. Now he just doesn't have enough center pawns to open up my king. You do need pawns to open up the king, or otherwise you have to sacrifice pieces. But that doesn't seem like it's happening in the near future. a3, so that's a weakening move. You don't want to move pawns on the side where you're being attacked. So can I just play b4 here? b4 just opening things up. That doesn't look... Well, if b4... I'm not really afraid if bishop takes here, because I just take his knight and I get a tempo on the queen. So, knight to c4 is another idea, but it doesn't seem to do anything concrete. Let's think. b4, I think he might almost be forced to take, and then I just have a really nice knight on b4. If takes, bishop takes here. I mean, he's just opening up lines against his own king, so I'm not afraid of that. Bring it on. Let's go. Oh wait, no, he can't take. That was I saw that in my head, but I forgot about it. My knight protects the pawn. So now I've managed to open up lines. This knight is pinned because now I have pressure on the c2 pawn. This knight can't move, which is useful. And so now let's try to just go for an attack here. Are there any exchange sacrifices? Not yet. Knight to c4 does not do anything. I kind of want to get this knight off of out of my business in a way. A5 looks like an interesting move. It also just solidifies my knight on b4. Not that it's really in danger. But I have a lot of good moves here. So A5 looks like an option. Is there anything better? Well, I don't want to spend too much time. So I do have a tendency to miss tactics against Gus. So I'm trying to be extra careful. So like I said, my only problem in this position is the h6 pawn, but it doesn't seem to be really a factor. Even if I lost it somehow, my queenside attack is just very fast. And he has some very concrete problems he has to solve. I'm just threatening to open up his entire position. So, really optimistic about this position, but we will see what happens. I don't think he really has time for a counterattack. I think he just has to defend here. He could just lash out with g4. He might be thinking about that. I was thinking of a4, knight d4, and then queen a5, something like that. Okay, so he just develops his bishop. A bit slow, so I'm just pushing forward. And, okay. The knight is not threatening me, although the knight can come to f5, which is... that's actually... Maybe I help the knight go where it wants to go. The knight also defends the c2 square, so now this knight is not pinned. That's interesting. Check. I'm looking at just the immediate a3. a3, if takes, I thought like queen a5, if he takes my knight, I'd take him, and the knight goes back, and I have nothing. So that does not work. Yeah, I just really gave him like a good square on d4. Not great play. What I should have done was knight c4 first, so that my knight's not here, and if my knight wasn't there, I could play e5. Just winning a piece here. But the move order wasn't right. The move order was not right. So I want to play a3. I really want to play a3. But maybe right now is not the time for it. a3 takes. There's no way to do that. What about just knight c4, threatening e5? Why am I so bad at attacking? This should be like the easy part of the game because I have the initiative. Queen a5. Just getting my queen in the game. Queen a5. Knight f5. I would just have to chop that. Okay, let's go for queen a5. And then I'm just going to chop and play a3 and just stubbornly attack his king. I just was a little bit worried about this pin on my knight. In fact, he might have knight d5 now. He might have just the immediate knight d5, which could be problematic. I was only looking at knight f4, knight f5. It's not good. Oh, okay, so he uses it. He plays it that way. Is there any way? I think I just have to protect my knight. Alright, I don't think there's any tactics for him to exploit just yet. Now my rook's on the same file as the king, which is useful. This is pretty useful. Now a3 becomes a stronger threat. My ideas of knight c4 are gone, however, and I did misplay this. What a shame. I had such a good position too. I mean, my position isn't bad, but now some of my issues are becoming quite evident. Okay, so he just trades. If I take with the rook, what's wrong with that? I will be pinned, so I have to just make sure you can't take advantage of that immediately. Rook takes. There's no knight c6. There's no bishop coming in. Okay, he does it this way. Does knight c4 here actually do anything? Knight c4 immediately. Trade. Knight c4 here. That's kind of what I want to do. Because is my knight doing anything useful on the e5 square? Do I need this knight on the board? Maybe. Maybe the move is to just retreat. I think the move might be to simply retreat. Do I want to go all the way back or somewhere on the second rank or something? Let's go all the way back. I think the attack just continues. Could play c4, but he's just making weaknesses then. Okay, so now he lashes out with that move, and I'm going to play this. So his king is weaker than mine, definitely. So now the very tangible threat is rook takes b2, winning the queen. He must do something about that, unless he wants to sacrifice the queen. He could play b4, which looks like a pretty dicey move. It might be his only move. That's the thing. And actually, that doesn't even attack my queen because the pawn is pinned. So that does not even attack my queen. Okay. Now I really need to just somehow break through. There's not an attack against my queen because the rook pins the pawn. What about knight g6? Does that do anything? No, that just brings my knight out of play. I've been looking at castling because I want to bring my second rook into play. Castling, though, he just takes on h6, and my king is kind of opening up there. Rook takes does not do anything. This check, nothing because he just takes with the queen. Yeah, let's take out his knight. Let's play this move. And now this also activates my bishop along this diagonal. So I'm trading his key defender and also opening up my pieces against his king. If this knight gets off the board, then I also have stuff like bishop e6. And all of my pieces are active. I'm also looking at potential sacrifices on b4, like knight takes b4, just to open up that king. The threat is also something like knight. Well, no, I was looking at things with e5, but that's never going to be a factor because you can always trade. If he takes my knight, I take, and I'm already pressuring e4, and it looks like white should just fall apart after such a move. I am low on time, as usual, so I do need to kind of pick up the pace. Yeah, the threat right now is knight takes d4, and you must take with the pawn, and then I just take this pawn and your king's open. Okay, so he does this. I can take... Oh, no, that would be bad. My queen is hanging now. My queen is hanging. What about knight takes, check, pawn takes, rook takes? Nothing very clear. Not clear. So I just need to move the queen back. Where should I move my queen? Where should I move my queen? This is the question. Queen a7. Queen a8 I've been thinking about for a long time, but it's kind of a fancy move. Queen b6. Queen b6. Takes. Okay. I just have to make a move. So let us just go here. Not think about it too hard. I mean, I don't care if I lose a pawn there. Okay. So now, can I do this little intermittent check with the bishop? Yes, I can. Let's do that in-between move. And then I will take with the queen. And my bishops are just firing along these lines. Okay. This is suddenly getting good for me. Well, not suddenly. This is the threat, and I also can take rook b4 because there's a pin on this diagonal. So this is a very good position. He might be looking at e5 here. He might be looking at e5. That looks like one defensive move. e5. Yeah, that's probably what I would play. To just shut that bishop out. Even if it sacrifices a pawn, if I take with my e-pawn, at least my bishop is blocked. That's the point. You kind of have to do that, otherwise that's the only way to parry both threats. Because I'm also attacking c3. So I'm basically attacking all three of these pawns. I could take any one of them. e5 is the only move that parries all of them. Okay, so he does stop that. Is there any way to get at his king? Let's just take. Let's just take and then play e4. Okay. And then I want to play e4. Just gotta make sure I'm not like mated. Oh, he does have this move. He does have this move. Rook d8 though. Excuse me. Rook d8. I'm also looking at queen No, that doesn't do anything. Rook d8 though, maybe. Let's play rook d8 just to mix things up. I don't want to let him get out of this. Got to watch out for any bishop b5s in the near future. That would win my queen if the bishop were protected. If he moves the queen, I do also have queen d5, looking at the a2 square. Okay, so, let's think. Bishop takes, pawn takes. Okay, let's do it this way. Now I'm threatening to take. But I don't want to just win material. I want to, like, checkmate. Don't exactly see a way to checkmate yet. He doesn't have c4 because d4 hangs. The queen is now stuck eyeing on the a2 square because otherwise it's checkmate. So yeah, bishop takes looks like a threat, kind of. I could also just castle in a moment, get my king to safety, and play on from there, because he's kind of tied up here. So if he does nothing, I don't have to take. I could just make waiting moves. Well, make useful moves. Play slowly. Okay, let's castle here. Okay, I was looking at queen takes queen, rook takes queen. Did I miscalculate here? You take that, and material is even, except I have a bunch of pawns. If I take your bishop... Oh wait, I have rook check here, and then taking your bishop. One sec, let's take this one, and then that is still a threat. I think this is still a winning endgame, but I misplayed that somewhat. Okay, let's give this check while we think about what to do. Also go rook b2 check. Let's check this way, and then I want to bring the rook around here. Now I can check this way. Okay, I'm just playing quickly here. Okay. Let's check him here. And then I want to do this. Just bring that pawn home. I can always sacrifice my bishop for that pawn if it gets through. So let's check him. Go here. Go here. Now if the pawn gets there, well yeah, he can't move the pawn because the rook is pinned. And I'm getting a queen. So that looks like game over, but he might try to beat me on time. Not best technical play possible, but I think this should win. Rook takes c1 is a threat of checkmate. The second row is completely covered by my pieces. Okay, so he took this. Let's take that. Okay. Now let's do this and threaten mate. Finally, a win with black. That was a pretty fun game. So I think there must have been faster ways to attack. So instead of bishop g5, he could also just play bishop c1, followed by f3, kicking my knight away, and then we just transpose to the main lines. We both just lose a tempo there. But he goes for the more testing line, which is pretty fun. But I feel like if people actually know the theory, then I could get crushed if I play this. So I just developed, and then I started pushing on the queen side. And then, yeah, he made a weakening move. He didn't have to play a3. What about, I think just g4 is the best way. And if I ever play b4, he could just play knight d5. And, excuse me, he's fine. Both attacks are coming through. But he kind of wasted a tempo by trying to defend. In these positions, you can't really waste time defending. You have to kind of just go for the attack. So that was a good move. Queen a5 was definitely a mistake. A4 also. I think, what should I have played here? It's hard to tell. I mean, I'll look at it with a computer afterwards. But I have to watch out for knight d4. So I'm not going to think about it now. There must have been a better way to play, though. This is all okay. And then, yeah, once a3 happens, now I'm breaking through. King a2 was a good move. Now opening things up again. Bishop d4 was a good defensive move. Now a castle, and all my pieces are developed. I should have thought about him taking. I did think about it, but I just assumed he couldn't. I think I had to do that anyway, though, and this transposes into basically a winning endgame anyway. I have these two really strong pass pawns. So I checked them a bunch to think about what my plan was, and then I queen. So, last trick, and checkmate. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching.